When you put a betel nut in your mouth and start chewing, the betel nut has begun to destroy your oral mucosa. This is because the fibers of betel nut are very rough. When you chew it repeatedly, it is like rubbing the inner wall of the mouth with sandpaper, which will cause the mucous membrane to be repeatedly damaged and then form microscopic wounds. And there is also an alkaloid called betel nut in betel nut. This substance is highly irritating, and if the tissues of the oral mucosa are irritated by it for a long time, then they lose their elasticity and become hard like leather. Under the combined effects of physical wear and chemical irritation, you will be more prone to problems such as mouth ulcers. Of course, dealing with canker sores is not difficult, and many people have solved this kind of problem through amylone allanite oral ointment. The ulcer in the mouth is like a pit in the ground filled by a small silencer, and its principle is like sending firefighters to the mouth to extinguish a fire. In addition to external oral vices, it is also necessary to change, stop chewing immediately, cold, etc., which is also the root of solving the problem, and finally adjust your eating habits. It is best not to eat cold, overheated, and irritating foods. Try to choose milder foods, and try to be gentler when brushing your teeth, and try to avoid the convergence area. So how should we prevent the harm of betel nut to the oral mucosa? The most fundamental and only effective way is to never start eating. Long-term chewing betel nut will greatly increase the probability of oral cancer. So who has long listed betel nut as a first-class carcinogen? If you psychologically agree with this view, you will not try betel nut. Even if your relatives and friends hand you betel nut, you will cheekily refuse. If you have the habit of eating betel nut, then it is best to quit immediately, and you also need to have regular oral examinations to prevent dangerous parts to prevent betel nut harm. It is never a complicated problem, but a firm personal choice and attitude towards life. The best prevention is always to cut off from the source.